As a child, I learned that words are like Play-Doh. They're a bridge, a tunnel, an invitation to the other side. And if you're lucky enough to find the right word and you inspire a feeling or emotion, then you've unlocked something that is deeply magical. Huda means guidance. I was born with a 2 Niles meet, and the sun kisses 200 pyramids like a lover during breakfast. Sudan, Khartoum is my hometown. It is where red sand covers clean clothes like a badge of honor. It is where my ancestors roam when you would mistake them for ghosts, but they are really our protectors. And my mother and my grandmother led our community like they were called on by God to do it. And I've always been inspired by the way that they exist. But somewhere in the midst of beauty and culture and tradition, some things were a privilege for us and the right for the rest of the world. So when my grandmother's body sent her soul an eviction letter, and she was no longer with us, and she was merely dust and a memory that we mourn over, my mother decided it was time for us to flee, to find a better tomorrow. So we landed on the other side of the Nile, in a city that never sleeps, where coffee shops had old men exchanging conversations over ancestral laughter, and those cups were magic. Cairo, Egypt was my home, but in the midst of a big city that had big noise, poverty was the loudest thing on our shopping list. It was the only thing that we can afford. So once again, my mother packed a bag, packed everything she is, language, culture, tradition, an attempt to survive, flew it over oceans, and we landed here. And at 10, my mother looked at me and said, "My child, it is time for everything that you have ever dreamt to be your reality. It is time for you to ignite like a firefly, to inspire change in the world. It is your time to go." And my first battle was a classroom. Because when you are an illiterate child and you are in a room full of language being the source of confusion and curiosity is the only thing that is tangible to you in a room, you delve in, you pencil your small body into a chair and hope that your wrists can bend the right way to write the story so that it would mean something to someone. So I struggled, and math was the only thing I could conquer because I understood the equation that my mother's smile, my grandmother's audacity, my willingness to survive is the only catalyst that will equal the dreams that I've had becoming a reality. It was the only vessel that I had. So I held a pen with a broken wrist, adjusted my ears, bent my mouth to accommodate for the English language, attempted to do everything I can to fit into a system. So when my English teacher gifted me a pink Barbie diary and said to me, "Huda, start writing," I thought, what mockery to an illiterate child who cannot bend her hands to get the letters of the alphabet to match what her mind is thinking. So, of course, to my belief, one day in conflict with my beautiful mother over a TV show I wanted to watch for too long, I said, "Listen, I've got a diary and it's about to be used today." And I ran to my room barefoot, slammed the door, hoping my mother didn't hear it. And I poured everything I am into the pages, held a pen forgetting that I can't spell or write, or sometimes even read, and I vented. And I swear to you, that pen was my first revolution. It was the first therapist that I did not have to pay for that understood me and heard my cries. That page felt like two arms that never wanted to let me go, holding me so tight that my heartbeat would readjust itself to accommodate. I realized that me and language are friends, but we're also an unlikely combination, that we are warriors, that poetry for me was my way of existing. It was my rebirth. It was my revolution. It was me recreating my mother's smile on stage over and over again. It was my community. It was the now touching and the sun kissing melanin on my skin. It was my time to be exactly who I dreamed of and who my mother wanted me to be. It was my time. This is your invitation for the time to be yours. For you to hold the pen, not to be perfect, not to tell the perfect story, but to exist, to be real, to validate yourself within the truth that you embody, to hold everything you are and know that you are magic. And somewhere along the red sand that covered my clean clothes and the loud streams of Cairo, Egypt, and my mother's crooked smile and my grandmother's audacious existence, I learned that me and poetry were made for each other. It was my soul's conversation to a stranger. So today, I gift you the greatest gift I had ever received, a pen, a page, your reality, and the possibility for your evolution to start. Reclaim your own voice, heal through the pages, because I promise you, it is a therapist's office that you don't ever have to knock and get permission to enter. It is the artistry that has healed me. It is where my community stands. It is where I begin and where I end. So, write poetry. Thank you.